Can I eat this cake that fell on the floor? The homeless girl asked the millionaire, and Jennifer Thompson felt the bitter taste of loneliness as she watched people pass by on the sidewalk through the cafe window. At 45, she had achieved everything she had ever dreamed of materially, but something inside her remained empty, as if an important piece of her life were missing. It was then that the chocolate cake she had just ordered slipped from her trembling hands and shattered on the marble floor of the cafe. A girl of about 8, wearing worn-out clothes and messy hair, approached timidly. "Mom, can I eat this cake that fell on the floor?" the child asked in a sweet voice that made Jennifer's heart race. The businesswoman froze. There was something in that child's voice that stirred her deeply, making her hands tremble as she looked into the little girl's brown eyes. For a moment that felt like an eternity. It was as if she were staring into a mirror of her past. "You don't have to, sweetheart. I'll order a fresh cake for you," Jennifer replied, trying to steady the emotion in her voice. The girl shook her head firmly. "I don't want charity, ma'am. I just want permission to take what was already lost." That proud response made Jennifer remember herself as a child. The same stubbornness, the same wounded dignity. Memories she had buried decades ago began to rise like waves in her chest. The cafe waitress hurried over. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Thompson. I'll get this girl out of here right away," she said, already gripping the child's arm. "Stop!" Jennifer stood abruptly. "Leave her alone. In fact, bring her a full meal, whatever you'd like, sweetheart," she said, turning to the girl. The child's eyes lit up, but suspicion lingered. "Why do you want to help me?" Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. Jennifer sat back down and gestured for the girl to do the same. "What's your name?" "Lily," the girl answered, still standing. "Lily is a beautiful name. Sit here with me, Lily. I'd like to talk to you." The girl hesitated, but hunger won out. She perched on the edge of the chair like a bird, ready to fly away at any moment. "Where do you live, Lily?" "With Grandma Ruth. She takes care of me and a few other kids in a house near Grand Central Terminal." A shiver ran down Jennifer's spine. There was something familiar about that name. "Ruth. What's her last name?" "Ruth Miller. She's really kind, you know. She always says my real mum will come back for me one day." Jennifer's heart pounded violently. Miller was the surname on her oldest documents, the ones her adoptive parents had always avoided discussing. "Lily, how long have you been with Mrs. Ruth?" "Since I was little. Maybe 7 years, give or take." Jennifer did a quick calculation. 7 years ago, she had been at the peak of her career, working day and night to expand her business. She had neglected any semblance of personal or family life. "Do you know anything about your mother?" Lily lowered her eyes. "Grandma Ruth says she was very young when I was born, that she had to leave me so she could work and give me a better life someday." The waitress brought a plate full of food. Lily ate politely, but Jennifer could see the real hunger behind every bite. "Lily, could you give me Mrs. Ruth's address? I'd like to make a donation to help you all." The girl stopped eating and eyed her warily. "You're not going to try to take me away, are you? Grandma Ruth always warns me about strangers." "Of course not, sweetheart. I just want to help." Lily gave the address reluctantly. Jennifer wrote down every word with trembling hands. A suspicion was growing in her chest, a possibility she didn't even want to consider. After Lily finished eating, Jennifer walked her to the door of the Bluebird coffee shop. "Lily, can I ask you one more question?" The girl nodded. "Did Mrs. Ruth ever show you any photos of when you were a baby?" "Oh, yes. She has a picture of me in the arms of a pretty lady. She says it's my mom when I was really little." Jennifer felt her legs weaken. "What did that lady in the photo look like?" "Like you, but younger and with darker hair." Jennifer's world seemed to spin. She said goodbye to Lily with a kiss on the forehead and watched her walk down the street with the same determination she recognized in herself. That afternoon, Jennifer canceled all her meetings and drove to the address Lily had given her. It was a simple house in a working-class neighborhood of the city, but well kept. She knocked on the door with her heart racing. A woman around 70 answered, grey hair tied in a bun, kind but tired eyes. Good afternoon, are you Mrs. Ruth? Yes, I am. How can I help you? My name is Jennifer Thompson. I met Lily today at the coffee shop and wanted to talk to you about a possible donation. Ruth invited her inside. The house was modest but impeccably clean. Jennifer studied every detail, searching for clues to confirm her suspicions. You're very kind to want to help, Ruth said, serving coffee. Lily told me she met a very elegant lady today. Jennifer could barely focus on the conversation. Her eyes were fixed on an old photo on the wall. It showed a younger Ruth beside a woman who could have been her twin. Mrs. Ruth, who is that woman in the photo? Ruth followed Jennifer's gaze and sighed deeply. That's my daughter Rebecca. She left many years ago. Left how? After Lily was born, she said she needed to rebuild her life, that she wanted to give her daughter a better future. She promised she'd come back when she was settled, but... Ruth's voice faltered. Jennifer could feel her pulse throbbing in her temples. Mrs. Ruth, can you tell me more about your family? Did you have other children? The elderly woman looked at her curiously. Why are you so interested? Jennifer took a deep breath. It was now or never. Because I think I might have some connection to your family. Ruth studied her for a long moment. You look familiar. Have we met before? Not that I remember. But Mrs. Ruth, I need you to be completely honest with me. Did you have any other daughters besides Rebecca? Ruth's eyes filled with tears. I had twin daughters, Rebecca and Jennifer. The name left the old woman's lips like a prayer. Jennifer felt her world collapse. What happened to Jennifer? When they were two, we were going through a very hard time. My husband had left us, and I couldn't raise both girls alone. A wealthy couple offered to adopt one of them, promising a better life. I had to choose. Jennifer could barely breathe. Why did you choose to let Jennifer go? Because she was stronger, more determined. Even as a little girl, Jennifer was brave, independent. I thought she'd adapt better to a different life. Rebecca was more fragile, more dependent. I thought it would be better for her to stay with me. Tears streamed freely down Jennifer's face. Mrs. Ruth, I'm Jennifer. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now, continuing. The silence that followed was deafening. Ruth dropped her coffee cup, shattering it on the floor. My daughter, my Jennifer. The two women embraced and cried together for several minutes. Decades of separation, pain, and longing dissolved in that moment. I always knew you'd be okay, Ruth whispered into Jennifer's ear. But I also always dreamed of the day you'd come back. Mom, why did my adoptive parents never tell me anything about you? About Rebecca? Ruth pulled away, wiping her tears. They promised to cut all ties with the past. They said it would be better for you to grow up not knowing where you came from. I agreed because I thought it was best for you. Jennifer felt a mix of anger and sadness. Where is Rebecca now? I need to find her. Ruth's face darkened. Rebecca. She left 2 years ago. She said she was sick and didn't want Lily to see her like that. We haven't heard from her since. Sick with what? I don't know exactly. She never wanted to talk about it. Just said she needed treatment far from here. Jennifer stood up, determined. I'll find her. I'll find my sister. Jennifer, there's something else you need to know about Lily. What? Rebecca never told me who Lily's father was, but she always said Lily had a very special aunt somewhere in the world, an aunt who could take care of her if anything ever happened. Jennifer looked out the window and saw Lily playing in the yard with other children. Did she know I existed? Rebecca never forgot you. She always dreamed of finding you but didn't know how. That night, Jennifer couldn't sleep. She had a niece she never knew existed, a missing twin sister, and a birth mother she had just reunited with after 43 years. The next day, she hired the best private investigators in the city to find Rebecca. She also tracked down her former adoptive parents, who had already passed away, but found documents in their old home confirming they knew about her biological family. There were letters from Ruth that were never delivered, photos of Rebecca that had been hidden, and even birth certificates proving she had a twin sister. The anger she felt was overwhelming. Her adoptive parents had deliberately severed all ties with her family, depriving her of knowing her true origins. 3 days later, the investigators brought news about Rebecca. She was admitted to a public hospital in upstate New York, about 120 miles from New York City. Jennifer drove there the same day. When she arrived at the hospital, she had trouble finding Rebecca because she was registered under a false name. Finally, a nurse led her to a simple room where a woman who could have been her mirror image lay. Rebecca was thinner, with darker hair, but her features were unmistakably identical. "Rebecca," Jennifer whispered. The woman in the bed slowly opened her eyes. When she saw Jennifer, her face lit up with a mix of shock and joy. "Jennifer, is it really you?" "It's me, my sister." Rebecca tried to sit up but was too weak. "How did you find me?" "Lily, our daughter led me to you." "Our daughter?" "She's my niece, but she's our daughter now. I found her a few days ago, and I haven't stopped looking for you since." Rebecca began to cry. "I always knew who you were. So many times I tried to get close, but I never had the courage." "What do you mean?" "I worked as a cleaner in 3 of your companies over the years. I always watched you from afar, proud of your success, but afraid you wouldn't want anything to do with a poor sister." Jennifer's heart broke. "Rebecca, you're my twin sister. Nothing in the world is more important than that." "Jennifer, I need to tell you something about Lily." "What?" "Her father. He's someone you know." Jennifer moved closer to the bed. "Who is it?" "Richard Parker. He owns several businesses in the city." Jennifer paled. Richard Parker was one of the wealthiest and most respected businessmen in the region. He was also married and had a reputation as a family man. "Rebecca, how did this happen?" "I worked as a housekeeper in his home for a few years. He took advantage of me. When he found out I was pregnant, he fired me and denied everything, said if I told anyone, he'd ruin my life." Jennifer felt anger rising inside her. "Does he know Lily exists?" "He does, but he's always denied it. He even offered me money to leave town." "And you didn't take it?" "How could I? Lily deserved to know her family, to know you. I always knew you'd meet one day." Jennifer held Rebecca's hand. "He's going to acknowledge her as his daughter. I'll make sure of it." "Jennifer, I don't want you involved in this. Richard is a powerful and dangerous man." "Rebecca, what's wrong with you? Why are you in the hospital?" Rebecca hesitated. "I have a kidney problem. I need a transplant, but I've been on the waiting list for 2 years. Why didn't you come to me sooner? I could have helped." "I didn't want to be a burden on your life." Jennifer stood up, determined. "I'll get tested to see if I'm a match for donation." "Jennifer, no, it's too risky. Rebecca, you're my twin sister. If there's anyone in the world I'm compatible with, it's you." That same day, Jennifer took all the necessary tests. 2 days later, she got the confirmation. She was a perfect match to donate a kidney to Rebecca. While waiting for the surgery, Jennifer took Lily to meet her mother at the hospital. The reunion was both emotional and painful. "Mommy, why did you leave?" asked Lily, tears in her eyes. "Because I was sick, sweetheart. But now your Aunt Jennifer is going to make me better." "Is Aunt Jennifer really my aunt?" "Yes, my dear. And from now on, you'll have 2 mothers looking after you." Lily looked at Jennifer. "So you won't be alone at that coffee shop anymore, right, Auntie?" Jennifer laughed through her tears. "Never again, my princess." The surgery was scheduled for the following week. Before then, Jennifer decided to confront Richard Parker about Lily's paternity. She showed up unannounced at his office, accompanied by a lawyer. "Jennifer Thompson? What a surprise. How can I help you?" "Richard, we need to talk about Lily Miller." Richard's face changed completely. "I don't know who you're talking about." "Rebecca Miller's daughter, your former housekeeper." Richard stood up nervously. "Jennifer, you don't know what you're getting into." "I know exactly what I'm getting into. Lily is my niece and you're her father." That's ridiculous. I have nothing to do with that child. Jennifer placed a folder on the table. Here's all the documentation proving Rebecca worked in your home when Lily was conceived. I also have statements from other employees who witnessed the harassment you put her through. Richard paled. What do you want? For you to acknowledge Lily as your daughter and provide financial support for her. And if I refuse, then I'll make this public. I wonder how your wife and children will react to this news. Richard was silent for a long moment. How much do you want? I don't want your money, Richard. I want justice for Lily. She deserves a father who recognizes her. Fine. I'll acknowledge her, but I want this done discreetly. The terms are these: you'll legally recognize Lily, pay child support and visit her regularly, plus you'll cover her tuition at a good private school. Richard reluctantly agreed. The transplant surgery was a success. Jennifer and Rebecca recovered in side-by-side rooms, and Lily slept every night in a chair between their beds. During the long hours of recovery, the sisters talked about everything they'd lost over the years. Jennifer, were you ever married? Asked Rebecca. I was. I got divorced 5 years ago. Why? I found out he was cheating on me. But now I realize maybe the problem was that I could never fully give myself to someone. I always felt like something was missing in my life. And now? Now I know what was missing. It was you. It was my real family. Rebecca smiled. Jennifer, I have a confession to make. What is it? I knew about your divorce. I followed it all in the papers. I also knew about your business, your achievements. I was always so proud to have such a successful sister. Rebecca, why did you never try to reach out? Because I was afraid you'd be ashamed of me. You had this perfect life, and I was just a single housekeeper with a daughter. Jennifer held her sister's hand. My life was never perfect, Rebecca. It was empty. I had money, success, but no real love, no family. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now back to the story. After her recovery, Jennifer sold her penthouse on Park Avenue and bought a big house in Park Slope, close to Ruth's home. She wanted the whole family nearby. Rebecca moved into the new house with Lily, and Ruth started visiting them every day. The once quiet, cold house filled with laughter, conversation, and the comforting sounds of a close-knit family. Jennifer also decided to shift the focus of her business. Instead of chasing profit alone, she began investing in social projects to help underprivileged families. Aunt Jennifer, why did you change everything in your life? Lily asked one evening as they prepared dinner together. Because I realized having a lot of money means nothing if you have no one to share it with. And now you do? Now I have you. My greatest treasure. Lily smiled and hugged Jennifer. Auntie, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you regret eating that cake with me at the Bluebird coffee shop? Jennifer laughed. Lily, that fallen cake was the best gift I've ever received. It brought me to you. A few months later, Richard Parker finally met Lily in person. The meeting was tense at first, but Lily, with her childlike ease, quickly won over her father. Daddy Richard, why did it take you so long to meet me? Lily asked during their first lunch together. Richard glanced at Jennifer and Rebecca, embarrassed. Because I was foolish and didn't know how to be a father. But now you do? I'm learning, Princess, I'm learning. Jennifer watched the scene with mixed feelings. On one hand, she was happy Lily had the chance to know her father. On the other, she still felt anger over the pain Richard had caused Rebecca. But Rebecca had asked her to leave the past behind. Jennifer, what matters is Lily's future. She deserves to have all of us in her life, Rebecca had said. The family's life settled into a new, happy rhythm. Lily enrolled in a private school, where she initially faced some prejudice because of her background, but soon stood out for her intelligence and charm. Jennifer discovered the joy of attending her niece's school events, something she'd never experienced before. Aunt Jennifer, are you coming to the school presentation? Lily asked excitedly. Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Mommy too. Your mom will be there too. At the school presentation, Lily gave a speech about family that moved the entire audience. My family is special because it was built by love, not just blood. I have a brave mom, a generous aunt, a wise great-grandmother, and even a dad who's learning to love me. And it all started when I asked to eat a cake that had fallen on the floor, said Lily, bringing tears to Jennifer and Rebecca's eyes. After the presentation, the school principal approached Jennifer. "Mrs. Thompson, Lily is an exceptional girl. We'd like to offer her a full scholarship." Jennifer smiled. "Thank you, but that won't be necessary. Lily can afford her education. Even so, we want to recognize her talent." Jennifer looked at Lily, who was playing with other children in the yard. "Then accept her as a mentor for the younger children. She has a special gift for caring for others." Later at home, while Lily slept, Jennifer and Rebecca talked on the balcony. "Rebecca, sometimes I wonder how different our lives would have been if we hadn't been separated." "Jennifer, there's no use thinking about what could have been. What matters is cherishing what we have now." "You're right. But sometimes I feel guilty for having such an easy life while you suffered." "Jennifer, do you really think your life was easy?" "Compared to yours, yes. You grew up not knowing who you really were. Married a man who didn't truly love you. Built an empire but lived alone. That doesn't sound easy to me." Jennifer reflected on her sister's words. "Maybe you're right. Maybe each of us suffered in our own way. And now we're together to heal those wounds." A few months later, Ruth fell ill. It was just a cold, but due to her age, she needed hospitalization. Jennifer and Rebecca took turns at the hospital to care for their mother. During one of these vigils, Ruth made an important revelation. "Girls, I need to tell you something." "What is it, Mom?" asked Rebecca. "About your father." Jennifer and Rebecca exchanged glances. Ruth had never spoken about him. "He didn't abandon you like I always said." "What do you mean?" asked Jennifer. "When you were one, he found out he was sick, cancer. He made me promise not to tell you because he didn't want you to grow up with the memory of a sick father." "What happened to him?" asked Rebecca. "He passed when you were 2, right before you were adopted, Jennifer." Tears streamed down Jennifer's face. "Why didn't you ever tell us this before?" "Because he made me promise I'd only tell you when you were reunited. He believed it would happen one day." "He knew we'd find each other?" asked Rebecca. "He always said the love between siblings is stronger than any separation, that you'd find each other when the time was right." Jennifer and Rebecca cried together, finally understanding they hadn't been abandoned, but protected by a father who loved them even in sickness. "Mom, what was his name?" asked Jennifer. "Michael John Miller. He was a mechanic, a hard-working and honest man. You got your determination from him." Ruth recovered quickly from her cold, but the episode made Jennifer realize how important it was to cherish every moment with family. She decided to drastically reduce her workload to dedicate more time to Lily, Rebecca, and Ruth. "Jennifer, you don't have to stop working for us," said Rebecca. "I'm not stopping. I'm rearranging priorities. Work will always be there, but you're irreplaceable." With more free time, Jennifer became actively involved in Lily's school life. She became a constant presence at parent meetings, performances, and events. Lily beamed every time she saw Jennifer in the audience. "Aunt Jennifer, you're the coolest aunt in the world," Lily would say, hugging her after each event. One day, Lily came home crying. "What happened, sweetheart?" asked Jennifer, concerned. "The boys at school said I don't have a real family because my mom isn't married and my dad doesn't live with me." Jennifer felt anger rise but controlled herself. "Lily, look at me. You have the most genuine family in the world. You have a mother who loves you, an aunt who would do anything for you, a great-grandmother who teaches you about life, and a father who's learning to love you. Isn't that a real family?" "It is, Aunt Jennifer." "Then don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Family isn't just a mother, father, and kids living under the same roof. Family is love, it's care, it's being there for the important moments." Lily hugged Jennifer tightly. "Auntie, I love you so much. I love you too, my princess." At the end of the school year, Lily was chosen to give the elementary school graduation speech. Jennifer, Rebecca, Ruth, and even Richard were in the audience. "When I was little, I thought I was different from other kids because I didn't have a typical family. Now I know I'm special because of that. My family taught me that love doesn't come from blood. It comes from the heart. That it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you're going. And I'm headed toward a future full of love and possibilities because I have people who believe in me, Lily said, moving the entire audience. After the graduation, the family gathered to celebrate at home. It was a warm December night, and they were all on the balcony talking and laughing. "Lily, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Richard asked. "I want to help kids like me, kids who need to find their families," Jennifer smiled. "That's beautiful, Lily." "Aunt Jennifer, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "If you could go back in time, would you change anything?" Jennifer thought for a moment. "You know what, Lily? I'd go through it all again if I knew I'd end up finding you in the end. Even after being alone for so long. Even then. Because all that time alone prepared me to cherish what I have now." Rebecca held Jennifer's hand. "And I'd face every hardship again if I knew it would lead me to you." Lily stood up and hugged them both. "Then let's make a promise. From now on, none of us will ever be alone again." "Deal," said Jennifer. "Deal," Rebecca repeated. Ruth, who had been quietly watching, stepped closer to the group. "My girls, seeing you like this reminds me of your father. He always said love is the only thing you never lose. It just changes form." "What do you mean, Mom?" Rebecca asked. "The love he had for you became the love you have for each other. The love I have for you has multiplied into the love Lily receives from all of us." Jennifer looked at her gathered family and felt a peace she'd never known before. 2 years later, Lily was in her first year of high school and already showing an interest in psychology. She truly wanted to help other kids find their families. Jennifer had turned part of her business into an organization that helped with family reunification. The project had already brought dozens of families separated by life circumstances back together. "Aunt Jennifer, do you think Dad, Michael John, would be proud of us?" Lily asked one afternoon as they sorted documents for the project. "I'm sure he would, Lily. He'd be proud to see how love has multiplied from the seed he planted." "What seed?" "The love he had for your mother and Rebecca, even knowing he'd leave too soon. That love became the love we have today." Lily smiled. "So love really never ends, huh?" "Never, my princess. Love is eternal." That night, Jennifer was organizing old papers when she found a letter Ruth had given her months earlier. It was a letter Michael John had written for his daughters before he passed. "My dearest Jennifer and Rebecca, if you're reading this, it means you found each other again. I always knew you would, because the love between sisters is unbreakable. Jennifer, I know you'll have a life full of achievements, but never forget that the greatest achievement is the love of family. Rebecca, I know you'll face hardships, but never forget that you are strong and brave. Take care of each other, because you are the two halves of my heart. One day when I'm no longer here, I want you to know that the love I feel for you will be present in every act of kindness you share. With all my love, Michael John." Jennifer cried as she read the letter. Then she rushed to Rebecca's room to share the discovery. "Rebecca, look what I found." The two read the letter together, deeply moved. "He truly believed we would find each other," said Rebecca. And he was right. Love brought us back together. The next morning, Jennifer woke up to Lily jumping on her bed. Aunt Jennifer, something amazing happened." "What is it, Lily?" "Remember Grace, that new girl at school who was sad because she doesn't know her family?" "I do. Yesterday I talked to her and found out she was raised in a children's home nearby. I think our project could help her find her family." Jennifer smiled. Lily was following the family's example, spreading love and hope wherever she went. "Let's talk to her and see how we can help." That afternoon, Grace came to Jennifer's house. She was a shy 15-year-old with sad eyes. "Grace, Lily told me you'd like to find your family," said Jennifer. "Yes, Ma'am, but I've tried so many times and never got any information. Here, we have a team specialized in family reunification. We'll do everything we can to help you." 2 weeks later, Jennifer's team managed to locate Grace's birth mother. She was a woman who had lost her daughter as a baby and had spent 15 years searching for her. The reunion took place at Jennifer's house, with the whole family there to support them. When Grace saw her mother for the first time, they both cried and held each other tightly. It was a scene that reminded Jennifer so much of her first meeting with Ruth. "Thank you for helping me find my mom," Grace said to Jennifer, still emotional. "Thank you for reminding us why we do this work," Jennifer replied. Lily watched everything with shining eyes. "Aunt Jennifer, is this how you felt when you found Grandma Ruth?" "Exactly like this, Lily. It's the most special feeling in the world." That night, during family dinner, Jennifer made an announcement. "I have a surprise for you all." Everyone looked at her curiously. "We've decided to turn our house into a temporary shelter for children searching for their families. That way they can stay here while we help with the search." Lily jumped with joy. "Really, Aunt Jennifer? Our house will become a place to reunite families?" "That's right. We'll renovate the back rooms and create a special space for these children." Rebecca held Jennifer's hand. "Are you sure about this? It's a huge responsibility." "I'm sure. We're proof that families always find each other when it's meant to be. I want to help other families experience this happiness." Ruth smiled. "Michael John would be so proud of you." 6 months later, Jennifer's house had become Hope Haven, a shelter that had already helped reunite over 50 families. Lily, now 16, worked as a volunteer in the project, helping the younger children adjust. "Lily, you have a special gift for this," Jennifer said, watching her niece comfort a girl who had arrived the day before. "I learned from you, Aunt Jennifer. I learned that every child deserves a family who loves them." Richard, who had initially been resistant to the project, became one of its main supporters, helping with funding and even participating in activities with the children. "Jennifer, I need to thank you," Richard said one afternoon. "For what?" "For giving me the chance to meet Lily, for teaching me what it truly means to be a father." "Richard, Lily taught you. I just created the opportunity." "Even so, thank you. Today I'm a better man because of her, because of all of you." On the 5th anniversary of the family's reunion, they threw a big celebration at Hope Haven. All the families who had been reunited through the project were there. Lily gave a heartfelt speech. 5 years ago, my Aunt Jennifer was alone at the Bluebird coffee shop, and I was alone on the street. A cake dropped on the ground brought us together, and since then, our family has only grown. Today, looking at all these reunited families, I realize love has the power to transform not just our lives, but the whole world. The audience gave a standing ovation. Jennifer, Rebecca, and Ruth were moved to tears. Later, after the guests had left, the family gathered on the porch to talk. "Jennifer, do you remember what your life was like before you found us?" Lily asked. "I do. It was an empty life, without real purpose. And now? Now I know every hard day I went through prepared me for this moment, to be your aunt, sister, and daughter." Rebecca moved closer to Jennifer. "Sister, you saved my life, literally and figuratively." "We saved each other, Rebecca." Ruth watched her daughters with a smile. "Girls, do you know the most beautiful thing about this whole story?" "What, Mom?" they asked. "You've proven that love always finds a way. Even after decades apart, even after living completely different lives, love brought you back together." Lily joined the group. "And now we're going to spread that love to other families, right?" "That's right, my princess," Jennifer said, hugging her niece. Just then, Richard arrived, carrying a chocolate cake. "I thought you might like to celebrate with the cake that brought us together," he said with a smile. Everyone laughed. It was the same kind of cake that had fallen on the floor 5 years earlier. "This time, we'll eat the whole thing without dropping it," Lily teased, sparking more laughter. As they shared the cake, Jennifer reflected on their journey. From a lonely, financially successful woman, she had become part of a close-knit, loving family. "Aunt Jennifer, can I ask you one last question?" Lily said. "Of course." "If you could give advice to someone alone in the world, what would it be?" Jennifer thought for a moment. "I'd say love always finds a way to reach us. Sometimes it comes disguised as a dropped cake, sometimes as a child asking for help, sometimes as a painful discovery. But it always comes. The important thing is to keep your heart open to receive it. What if the person doesn't believe that? Then I'd tell them our story and say if it was possible for us, it's possible for anyone. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, Jennifer stayed alone on the porch, gazing at the stars. A deep peace filled her heart. She thought of Michael John, the father she never knew, but whose love still echoed in the family they'd built. She thought of her adoptive parents, who, despite their mistakes, had given her opportunities that led her to this moment. But most of all, she thought of Lily, the brave girl who dared to ask for a dropped cake and, without knowing it, changed an entire family's life. The phone rang, interrupting her thoughts. It was the coordinator of the reunification project. "Jennifer, we've located the family of little Grace who arrived last week. They'll meet tomorrow." Jennifer smiled. "What wonderful news. I'll let Lily know. She'll be so happy. Jennifer, I want to thank you for everything you're doing. You're changing so many lives. Actually, the one who changed my life was a brave little girl who taught me that the best gifts come when we least expect them." After hanging up the phone, Jennifer stepped into her home. In the hallway, she paused in front of a photo of the whole family together, taken last Christmas. "Thank you, Dad Michael John, for believing love always finds a way," she whispered to the picture. Surrounded by her family's love, Jennifer realized she hadn't just found her sister and niece. She had also found herself. The brave little girl who once asked to eat a fallen cake had become the key that unlocked every door of love in her life. And now together, they would keep opening those doors for other families, spreading across the world the certainty that love always, always finds a way. The end. Now tell us what you thought of this story and where you're watching from. If you have something to share with us, leave a heartfelt comment below. Do you believe Jennifer made the right choice by transforming her life? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like the video and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other touching stories.